Hey guys, what is going on? Dylan here. What we got for you is another build video. This time we're going to be showing the Titans a little bit of love. We got a Solar Titan build here for you. Now, normally with a Solar Titan, I would use something like Lorelai's for the survivability, but as you can see in the footage here, we are going to be doing a Consecration build. Probably one of the most fun builds that I've used in a while. That Consecration Slam is very, very fun. So for this build, we're going to be using the Pyro Gale Gauntlets. What that does is that takes your Burning Maul and that puts it into a one-off sort of Super Slam, just kind of like Celestial Nighthawk does with the Hunter's Golden Gun. If you see the second part of that perk, Consecration also takes that second slam and creates a Cyclone of Flame. We're going to be pairing this with the Monte Carlo Auto Rifle, which basically just gives you increased melee and has a chance to fully recharge your melee upon a kill. If you guys do enjoy and like the content and you want to support this channel, feel free to leave a like and consider subscribing. That would definitely help me out greatly, and I definitely appreciate it if you do. And now, as far as the build goes, I mean, obviously, we're going to be using that Consecration as much as possible. You can use this in higher tiered activities. As you can see in the footage, I am doing a Legend Lost Sector right now. But you have that Bonk Hammer as an option to you. But instead, you can sprint, do your slide, jump up in the air, and get that Consecration melee, where you will put some sunspots, so you can use those for getting abilities back faster and healing. Now, as far as the mods go, I don't put on any picking up orbs gets you health regen, so you're kind of like a glass cannon, though you still do have those sunspots that help quite a bit. But the way that I kind of look at this build, and that's why I'm calling it a glass cannon build, is you're doing so much damage, there's so much output that I don't think you have to worry about a lot of enemies, if I'm being honest. I mean, you're seeing the way that it just melted that Overload champion. So what we're looking at for the build is obviously you're going to be using Burning Maul, primarily using that heavy attack. I like to have Bonk Hammers on, way better than the other melee for this build. Healing Grenades is what I switched to. I know I'm not using it in the clip here, but I did switch to Healing Grenades because they're just a lot better for survivability. Obviously Consecration to get that slam. We're going to be using Soul Invictus, which is going to give us those sunspots for the regeneration and the healing. Now, for the fragments, we're going to be using Ember of Torches, so those powered melees, obviously. Ember of Ashes, where we apply more Scorch stacks to targets. We're going to be using Ember of Empyrean, so basically we're just extending the duration of Restoration and Radiation. And finally, Ember of Benevolence, which when you apply Restoration, Radiance, all those, you get ability regeneration. And yeah, I mean, it's a really, really fun build. I would definitely suggest trying it out because you feel so empowered using those slams. On the screen here are the mods that I would recommend. You know, you got your Kinetic Siphon if you're going to be using the Monte Carlo, Heavy Handed, Invigoration, Innervation, and Solar Surge mods, or just Surge mods, depending on what your heavy is for those damage phases. Surge mods do not apply to the actual Consecration itself. It's just for weapons, but still, nonetheless, it is still very, very fun to use. Really, really awesome when it comes to ad clearing, and it does a lot of damage to those champions, as you saw for the previous clip. Here I'm just running around going nuts, and in a second I think I popped the super to show you on this boss here, and I think it was a super, and then yeah, here I'll show you a super, and then Consecration. I believe it was almost dead. Now other teammates were obviously shooting it, but that's still a ton of damage for those two things. And not to mention you still have those roaring flames that are in that section still doing damage to them. But not to mention, also, if you stand in those sunspots, you're also healing and getting ability regeneration. Now, obviously, for those higher tiered activities, you may need to swap some weapons out, but if it's Overload champions and you need to use an auto rifle, would definitely suggest Monte Carlo, just that way you basically have never ending melees. So give this one a try. It is super fun. I love this build. I'm going to use it quite a bit because it is very, very fun. You feel so great just doing those powered Consecration slams. So leave a like, subscribe, comment. Talk to y'all later.